Maria, welcome to Action a Go Go.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Tried to do some studying before the interview, of course, just to learn a little bit more about excuse me, I can't talk today. Learn a little bit more about you and your career, sort of important during an interview. But yeah, let's start out. What brought you to this movie?
Well, I had the audition during the whole COVID time.
Oh,
So,
wow.
it changed the way actors audition the whole COVID lockdown. We now audition mostly through self tapes. We don't go into the audition room with the casting director and sometimes the producers. We have to do everything on our own. And I think it's a lot of fun. So I set up the whole scene in my basement, which is where we do our auditions. My husband and I were both actors. David Barrera is my husband. And so we have a whole little area. So I set it up and I loved doing the audition because it's the whole scene where Santana wakes up, where Bravo wakes up,
Yep.
and uh and I'm cooking the corn and I'm cooking the secret brew that helps, bring him and his posse back to life. And it was so fun. I remember my husband played the other characters and he was so great. So, I mean, I loved it from the audition. I'm like, this is such a blast. It was almost like I got a chance to be in the movie just by auditioning. The writing was so funny. Um, it was playful, it was scary, it was witty, it was wonderful. So I loved it from the get-go. So then when I found out I got it, I was thrilled.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I've been fortunate enough to talk to a few actors that have had to adapt to COVID and the challenges of COVID. So it's good to know you're able to adapt to it and have fun with it, of course. And of course, in the movie, you are a Bruja. You're one of my favorite characters. You're the crux of the movie in that sense. Did you do any research for that, or did you just embrace the role and have fun with it?
Well, throughout the years I've read for, done play readings, done actual parts that are similar to this whole Mexican folklore of death and the respect for death, the curiosity about the afterlife, the possibility of spirits returning, uh, the whole folklore I've been aware of since moving to LA too, and seeing more of the Mexican culture. And my heritage is Cuban, my Latino heritage. My parents are from Cuba. My husband's great grandparents are from Mexico. He's from Texas. So there's some of my mother-in-law I used in her humor. My mother-in-law was very funny, inadvertently funny when she would snap at my father-in-law. And I snap a lot at Efren as my
Yeah.
my ex, not the ex, but I would say dead husband brought back to life halfway, halfway. So he's this terrific zombie, and Efren was wonderful to work with, as was Danny. Just terrific. So I had a lot already stored in the back of my mind from past auditions and past characters from reading about the Mexican folklore. And so I just really brought all that along with, like I said, my mother-in-law, and I was able to create this witch who is sassy and funny and over it, but still very much fighting for good things. Um, so my character acts kind of like she's above it all, but when push comes to shove, she's quite vulnerable, as you see as the movie develops. And so I loved all those different facets of her. She wasn't a typical, you know, scary story kind of witch. She had a lot of nuances, and I really appreciated that. As a Latin character, to have those kinds of levels was nice to see and nice to play.
Well, it's very fun, and there are a lot of nuances to it. It's a clever little movie, and
Yeah.
and you did mention Efren Ramirez. I had a chance to interview him. Had a great time interviewing him. I'm having a great time with you as well. Thank you. But when you're an actor and you're playing someone's husband or wife and
Yeah.
whatnot, do you take a little bit more time with them as a performer? Do you try and work something out with them, or is it just show up on set and or do the rehearsing and go from there?
Well, it's a risk because the actor may have qualities that may work against what the character's supposed to be in the puzzle piece of the whole puzzle.
Hmm.
So if the actor has certain qualities that work towards what the story is supposed to be saying, you immediately embrace those. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if like for example, Efren was very much like the character that, and it worked for me. How
Oh,
I'm supposed
cool.
to feel about him. Like I liked him from the get-go. I liked him because I loved Napoleon Dynamite. Who didn't love him in Napoleon Dynamite? He was so
Absolutely.
interesting and so weird, and he was so great in that. And then as an actor, I really liked how much he cared about the project. He wasn't just about his part. And I personally welcome when an actor playing my husband shares with me and talks to me about what he thinks and what he wants. And I am embraced when he told me, he said he had an idea for me to, when I'm towards the end, when something happens to me in the end, I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
Um, he had the idea that I would yell out his name, not just a scream. And I thought that was wonderful because
Oh, that's
you
cool.
see, I play as the Bruja, like I don't really care about him that much. I insult him to his face, I mock him, I ridicule him, which is the worst thing you can do to a man, is ridicule him publicly. I do that in front of Bravo. Um, but you see that I really care about him when his name is the last one, the last name that I yell out when I start going through some issues. Don't want to give it away. And I thought that was beautiful. And I don't know if you can really tell that I yell out Miguelito when I'm dying. Oops, I just said it. Okay, well the movie's great anyway, even if you see what happens, even if you know what happens. So I love that. I love that he cared enough about the whole story to think about that and to share it with me. You know, and it's a risk. Some actors don't want to hear what other actors have to say. But
Interesting.
I'm not that way. I like it. To me, it shows that you care about the whole thing. So I welcome it.
No, that's
Because it's my
very,
choice.
oh,
It's my choice to embrace it or not. You know, I can take it or leave it in my performance, but I welcome it.
that's very cool. And it's always great to hear those stories about actors that sort of get to contribute to the story, not just play the role and come up with those little creative things that add to it. Those are always
Yeah, like
great
I
stories.
improvised a line and John loved it and he kept it. And I was like very happy about that. And it made it into the movie and it was funny.
Very cool. And just real quick, what was it like working with Danny Trejo?
Oh wow. I loved it. He was terrific. You know, I've met him a few times. Like I said earlier to another interviewer, he's got these, you know, these qualities that surprise you. Like he looks tough and he's got tattoos and but he's actually such a sweet man, genuinely sweet, not faking it. There's a lot of faking it in this town. He really is down to earth. He really is authentic. He really is a grateful person, a kind person, a sweet man. I loved every second of it. I thought he was terrific as Bravo in our movie, and I thought he was great to work with and great to do press with. I would love the blessing to ever work again with him. He was great, and I understand why he's such an icon. He's special. He's a special person.
Excellent, excellent. And unfortunately, we have to end it there. A short interview. Maria, thank you so much. This has been absolutely a pleasure.
Thank you, Derek. I feel the same way. Thank you so much.
This is Derek Scarzella. Thank you so much for watching this video. Just doing a quick outro. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Above all, we want to hear what you have to say about this video, this movie, what it meant to you. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, of course, YouTube. Check out our website, actionagogo.com. And of course, you can check out my own novels. Knuckle Crackbone, as well as The Vicious Game. Links are all down below. We also have a merch store if you want to enjoy our glorious Action A Go Go electric logo, which is going to come right after this. And of course, again, thank you so much for watching. It's super appreciated. Hope you had a good time. I know we did. Bye.